Your question?
If I had $100,000 in the crib and I go to jail tonight, what would you do with the money?
Invest it. Probably buy some properties.
Why would you touch it if it's already with you?
Why would I leave it there and let it sit? The money
Why
doesn't do anything by
why
sitting.
would you bother it if you know you can eat off of if I never get out?
I don't need you to eat. I eat on my own.
So why would you invest in something you don't know what's going on?
I do know what's going on. I know investments very well.
All right, y'all. We need to break this one down because I'm like everyone else. When I first heard it, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, this nigga here is like if Chinese arithmetic was a person. Like, you just gotta listen to it closely though. It's just one of those like you just gotta give the nigga the benefit of the doubt, and you almost gotta like pick apart what he was trying to say because at the end of the day, I watched his body. I watched his body language. I watched when he popped the balloon to what basically made him pop the balloon, and then I just listened to what he was saying. Now he was saying extra shit that didn't need to be said, and therefore it had people in a state of confusion. So let's listen to it.
Your question?
If I had $100,000 in the crib and I go to jail tonight, what would you do with the money?
Invest it. Probably buy some properties.
Why would you touch it if it's already with you?
Why would I leave it there and let it sit? The money doesn't do anything by sitting.
Why would you bother it if you know you can eat off of if I never get out?
I don't need you to eat. I eat on my own.
So why would you invest in something you don't know what's going on?
I do know what's going on. I know investments very well.
So somebody sarcastically said, like she ate or something. And first off, I 100% agree with her. Investing would be the logical thing. That's basically I forget what couple it was, but somebody went to jail, left $100,000, came back, and then there was nothing to show for it. And that was that. However, what Boyd was basically saying, he asked the question. He said, if I went to jail tonight and left $100,000 at the crib, what would you do with it? She said invest it. He instantly popped it. So it had nothing to do with her answer, y'all. His point was, he then came back and he said, well, why would you touch it? And she said she responded, and he said, but he basically kept asking why. And he said, and then it was the last thing that kind of tied it all together for me. He said, why would you invest in something? Why would you invest this money in something you know nothing about, basically? He wasn't referring to her not knowing the investments. He was referring to the fact, first off, the key thing he said is, if I went to jail tonight, what would you do with the money? Why would you touch the money just off me going to jail tonight is what he was getting at. Why are you touching this money so fast? That's why he said, well, why would you touch it? Because then you'll be able to eat off. You could eat off of it if I was to basically go to jail for a long time. You could eat off of it. And her response was, I don't need you to eat. That's when he came back with, well, why would you be investing it? Why would you be touching it if you don't know what's going on? Meaning, if you don't know what's going on with my case, because you can't possibly know what's going on with me, and I just went to jail tonight. So his whole point was, why are you touching this money just off of me going to jail for tonight? Without knowing what's going on, without knowing how long I'm going to be put away, without knowing any of that, why would you touch this money? Listen again.
If I had $100,000 in the crib and I go to jail tonight, what would you do with the money?
Invest it. Probably buy some properties.
Her shit was out of there. It didn't matter. The buying investing by it, his whole point was, why are you touching it? Which you get through his response to her.
Why would you touch it if it's already with you?
Why would you touch it? He could have left it alone right there. It started throwing people off when he said, why would you touch it if it's already with you? It's like, what the? Now that's where we all, myself included, we all got kind of like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, his point is, why would you touch it? She responds,
why would I leave it there and let it sit? The money doesn't do anything by sitting.
Why would you bother it if you?
She answered, and then he comes back with, why would you bother it? With this dumbass, he said something crazy.
No, you can eat off of if I never get out.
I don't need you to eat.
He said, why would you bother it? Why would you touch it? Why would you bother it? That's what he's getting at. When I'm only gone for a day, and you're already touching my money without knowing what's going on, His whole point is, why would the fuck would you touch it? Sometimes we just gotta open up and listen, despite how hard it is. That's law.